just a quick heads up before we start this review. I could not get footage from this game on my own. It's an older game, it run Windows 95 or 98, and unfortunately I had no way of getting the game to operate under Windows 8, Windows 7, Windows Vista, Windows XP, so finally I just kind of gave up on it and got some footage from YouTube for this review. When I was younger, though, Iron Maiden was one of my favorite bands, and they still are one of my favorite bands. I got into them in the early 90s, with me being, I'd say 12, 13. They went through a lead singer change, and during this lead singer change, when Blaze Bayley was the lead singer, they announced that they were going to do their own video game called Melt. It would be Eddie's own state-of-the-art 3D game. In 97, they announced that Project Melt had been cancelled, with Blaze commenting that the game was crap. Maiden wants to give something special to their fans to blow them away. So they came up with Edge Hunter, which was originally slated for release in 98, but was actually released in 1999. And during the time of this release, Blaze Bayley left the band to get the known vocalist for Iron Maiden, Bruce Dickinson, back in. He wasn't the original vocalist for Maiden, but he's probably the most recognized one. But Steve Harris, prior to the release, quoted, "It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I don't get shocked very often, but Edge Hunter was so good. It's like walking into a 3D version of the Somewhere in Time album cover, like going to the bar at the Ruskin Arms, only full of aliens. You'll go in, we'll be like holograms playing in the corner or sitting at a table gambling." And then you've got the game itself, which is like this big shoot-'em-up, case through space to catch Eddie. It's absolutely brilliant. Okay, well, we know the band's opinion of the game, now for a more realistic opinion. The game plays a lot like Time Crisis, except without the element of being able to take cover. It's an on-rails shooter. The graphics are okay for the time. You know, they're alright. I would actually consider them fairly subpar. You more or less have a bunch of enemies that come on screen throwing crap at you. You can play defensively, which is the easiest way to get through the game, by shooting the items that the enemies throw at you and then taking out the items themselves. Now, every stage in the game is based off of an Iron Maiden track, which I thought was kind of interesting with it. The only part that I wasn't real happy with is that while every stage is based off a track, it only plays one track, and then the track loops again. Now, for the first stage, which is based off of the Phantom of the Opera track, not a big deal. It's a 7 minutes long game to begin with, so, you know, it's something that can be handled pretty easily, but later stages have something, you know, let's say you're doing a 15-minute stage, you're hearing the same 4-minute song repeat at least 3 or 4 times. It kind of gets grating after a while. Now, while the game is decent, to me, has some major issues. First of all, the game supposedly was going to come out on the PlayStation back in the day. This never happened, which means that the game only came out for PC. No light gun support whatsoever. It's full mouse control, which means you're just clicking on the baddies and clicking on the items that they throw at you. And there's no real changes to the gameplay or anything. You're just constantly clicking on numerous areas on the screen. It would have been a lot better if this is a game you could have played with a light gun, but as it is, just playing it with a mouse, I wasn't really impressed with it whatsoever. It was definitely an interesting game, and it was one of those rare times to where a video game was released by a major music group, with in this case being Iron Maiden. However, it could be done better, and I think in later years it was done better. To be honest, I think in prior years it was possibly done better, with Revolution X, done by Aerosmith. Revolution X, while not being the best game in my opinion, had better gameplay mechanics than this game did. However, it is unique for what it is, and it has an amazing soundtrack. It's worth checking out if you have a Windows 95 or 98 PC laying around. Otherwise, I would probably pass. This one is more than likely better off left forgotten.